While the series BJ and the Bear brought joy and laughter to millions, the untold stories behind the scenes of its cast reveal a world filled with heartbreak and tragedy. Beneath the cheerful facade of the beloved show lies a web of shocking secrets, hidden sorrows, and dark truths that have remained in the shadows. In this compelling exploration, we delve into the unseen chapters of these actors' lives, uncovering moments of profound sorrow and unexpected revelations. From sudden and devastating losses that stunned the world to silent yet fierce battles with illness, their paths were marked by tears and resilience. These cherished stars not only faced the dazzling lights of fame but also grappled with the haunting darkness of reality. Join us as we peel back the layers of their untold stories, immersing ourselves in a journey of raw emotion and heart-rending twists, where the laughter on screen served as a fragile veil for the unspoken struggles of their lives. Ed Lauter, born in 1938, brought his signature intensity to the role of Captain John Sebastian Cain in BJ and the Bear, a lawman whose authoritarian streak clashed with the free-spirited ethos of the titular character. Lauter's career was marked by his talent for portraying hardened, no-nonsense characters, but his personal life was far from stable. Strained relationships with his 4 children, stemming from a grueling work schedule and a demanding temperament, led to periods of estrangement. Lauter married twice, with both unions ending in acrimonious divorces, each citing his inability to balance the pressures of Hollywood with family life. Tragically, his career was cut short when he passed away in 2013 from mesothelioma, a rare cancer linked to asbestos exposure, which he suspected stemmed from working on older film sets in his early career. His passing highlighted the industry's often overlooked health hazards. Jock Mahoney, born in 1919, portrayed Jason T. Willard in BJ and the Bear, a role that drew on his rugged charisma and experience as a stuntman-turned-actor. Known for his work as a swashbuckling Tarzan in earlier years, Mahoney's life behind the scenes was marked by financial troubles and a turbulent personal life. He fathered 2 daughters, including actress Sally Field, with whom he had a complicated relationship. His demanding nature and emotional distance, coupled with his struggles with health following a debilitating illness contracted while filming abroad, left deep scars on his familial bonds. Mahoney's romantic relationships were equally fraught. His 3rd marriage saw years of tension before ending in separation. He died in 1989 from complications related to a stroke, leaving behind a legacy marred by personal struggles but revered for his dedication to physical artistry on screen. Conchata Ferrell, born in 1943, lent her distinctive voice and commanding presence to the role of the fox in BJ and the Bear, a clever and charismatic figure who often provided a mix of humor and heart to the show's dynamic. Known for her critically acclaimed work on stage and screen, Ferrell was celebrated for her ability to imbue even the most minor roles with depth and humanity. Off-screen, her personal life was a tapestry of professional triumphs and personal heartache. A devoted mother to a daughter, Ferrell often struggled to balance the demands of Hollywood with her family life, leading to periods of tension and regret. Her marriage, though enduring, faced challenges due to her career's relentless pace and health struggles in her later years. Ferrell passed away in 2020 from complications following a cardiac arrest, compounded by other underlying health issues. Her death left a void in the industry, with colleagues mourning the loss of a uniquely gifted and compassionate artist. Murray Hamilton, born in 1923, took on the role of Captain Rutherford T. Grant in BJ and the Bear, portraying a scheming and authoritative figure with the gravitas and subtle menace that defined much of his acting career. Best known for his iconic role as Mayor Vaughn in Jaws, Hamilton's life was marked by professional acclaim but also personal turbulence. A private man, he struggled with alcoholism, which strained his relationships, including his marriage and his connection with his only son. The demands of his career often left little room for family, a regret he carried until the end of his life. Diagnosed with lung cancer in the early 1980s, Hamilton continued to work despite his declining health, a testament to his dedication to his craft. He succumbed to the disease in 1986, leaving behind a legacy of unforgettable performances tinged with the bittersweet complexities of his personal journey. Slim Pickens, born in 1919, infused his portrayal of Sergeant Beauregard Wiley in BJ and the Bear with the folksy charm and rugged humor that made him a Hollywood legend. Known for his roles in westerns and his unforgettable turn in Dr. Strangelove, Pickens' life mirrored the larger-than-life characters he often played. Behind the laughter, however, his personal life bore a different story. Married for over 3 decades, his relationship with his wife was strained by his long absences due to filming. His children often described him as a loving but distant figure, more present in the vivid stories of his career than in their everyday lives. In his later years, Pickens suffered from a brain tumor, which ultimately claimed his life in 1983. His passing left behind not just a gap in the world of character acting but also unresolved family dynamics that cast a shadow over his vibrant legacy. John Dullaghan, born in 1930, brought depth and relatability to his role as Nick in BJ and the Bear, a character who grounded the show with his sincerity. While Dullaghan never reached the heights of stardom, his work was marked by quiet dedication and the respect of his peers. Off-screen, his life was a mix of modest achievements and personal battles. A father of 3, Dullaghan's relationship with his family was complicated by his struggle to make a stable living in the unpredictable world of acting. His marriage, though outwardly supportive, endured periods of financial strain and emotional distance. Tragically, Dullaghan's life was cut short in 2009 by a sudden heart attack, leaving his family and colleagues stunned by the abrupt loss. His death served as a reminder of the fleeting nature of both life and fame in Hollywood's unforgiving landscape. Charles Napier, born in 1936, portrayed the gruff and intimidating Hammer in BJ and the Bear over several episodes between 1979 and 1981. A versatile character actor with a face and voice made for authority figures, Napier's career was prolific, spanning dozens of films and TV shows. Despite his success, his personal life was often marked by turbulence. A failed marriage left him estranged from his children for much of his later life, a regret he carried heavily. Napier's health began to decline in the 2000s, and he died in 2011 at the age of 75 from complications following a surgery. His death came as a surprise to many, as his gruff demeanor and larger-than-life presence seemed to defy mortality. Claude Akins, born in 1926, brought a mix of charm and menace to his role as Sheriff Elroy P. Lobo in BJ and the Bear during its early seasons. Known for playing grizzled lawmen and affable rogues, Akins became a familiar face in the entertainment world, with a career that included both television and film. Off-screen, however, his life was less serene. His marriage endured long stretches of strain due to his work commitments, though he remained devoted to his children, who he described as the grounding force in his life. Akins died in 1994 at the age of 67, succumbing to cancer. His passing marked the end of an era for fans of classic television, and his legacy lives on through his work. Angela Aames, born in 1956, appeared in BJ and the Bear as Honey, a bright and charming character who lit up 5 episodes between 1979 and 1981. Known for her effervescent personality and distinctive blonde beauty, Aames frequently portrayed bubbly, cheerful roles in television and film. Beneath the glamorous exterior, however, Angela's life was marked by personal challenges. Struggles with self-esteem and the pressures of maintaining her image in Hollywood took a toll on her mental health. Her sudden death in 1988 at just 32 years old shocked her fans and colleagues. The cause was officially ruled as heart failure, though speculation about stress and other factors lingered, adding an air of mystery to her untimely passing. Susan Woollen, born in 1947, portrayed Stacy in 7 episodes of BJ and the Bear, capturing viewers with her grounded and relatable performance. Woollen's career in acting was relatively short-lived, and she retreated from the spotlight after her time on the series. In her personal life, she faced numerous challenges, including a contentious divorce and estrangement from close family members. While she found some solace in working as a counselor later in life, her journey was far from easy. Woollen passed away quietly in 2023 at the age of 70. The circumstances of her death remain largely private, reflecting her preference for a life lived away from public scrutiny after her brief moment in the limelight. Richard Deacon, born in 1922, brought his characteristic gravitas and dry humor to the role of Sheriff Masters in 4 episodes of BJ and the Bear during 1979. Best known for his work in The Dick Van Dyke Show and Leave It to Beaver, Deacon was a master of supporting roles, often portraying uptight or officious characters. In real life, Deacon struggled with his identity and kept his personal life intensely private. As a closeted gay man in Hollywood, he lived in a time when openness was fraught with risk, leading to an isolated personal life. Health issues, compounded by a long struggle with alcoholism, culminated in his death from cardiovascular disease in 1984. His passing marked the loss of a talented actor who had spent much of his life hiding his true self. Bill McKinney, born in 1931, took on the role of Jim Riker in 4 episodes of BJ and the Bear between 1979 and 1981, delivering his signature intensity. McKinney was renowned for his chilling performance as a villain in Deliverance, a role that defined his career but also haunted him. Off-screen, McKinney was a complex figure, with a turbulent love life and estranged relationships with his children. His dedication to his craft often came at the expense of personal connections, leaving him with a sense of loneliness in his later years. Diagnosed with esophageal cancer, McKinney faced his final days with characteristic grit, passing away in 2011 at the age of 80. His death closed the chapter on a career filled with powerful performances that often mirrored the chaos of his personal life. John Lupton, 1928–1993. John Lupton, known for his portrayal of Agent Hull in the series BJ and the Bear, brought a steady presence to television throughout his career. His life, however, was not devoid of challenges. A product of 1950s Hollywood, Lupton often played understated roles, reflecting his reserved personality. Behind the camera, his life was marked by a series of professional setbacks as he struggled to transition from television to film. His personal life was similarly fraught. A series of ill-fated romantic relationships left him emotionally adrift. Lupton died of undisclosed causes in Los Angeles in 1993, leaving behind 2 estranged children who had little connection to their father during his lifetime. His later years were spent in relative obscurity, his legacy largely forgotten by the industry he dedicated his life to. J.D. Cannon, 1922–2005. J.D. Cannon, who played Gorley in BJ and the Bear, had a magnetic on-screen presence that often cast him in authoritative roles. Despite a successful career, Cannon's off-screen life was steeped in personal turmoil. Known for his intensity, his relationships with colleagues were strained, often due to his perfectionist tendencies. His marriage, though enduring, was described by those close to him as tumultuous, with periods of prolonged separations. Cannon had no children, a topic he rarely discussed but seemed to carry a quiet sorrow about. In his later years, his health deteriorated, and he succumbed to complications from a stroke in 2005. Cannon's death marked the end of a career that, while respected, had not brought him the lasting recognition he yearned for. Lee Paul, 1939–2019. Lee Paul, who appeared as a country comfort customer in 2 episodes of BJ and the Bear, was a classic example of a journeyman actor, whose career was filled with bit parts and uncredited roles. A man of many talents, Paul dabbled in stunt work and even tried his hand at screenwriting, but his ambitions often outpaced his opportunities. Behind the scenes, his life was a tangle of unresolved relationships. A bitter divorce in his early 40s left him financially and emotionally depleted, and his estranged relationship with his only daughter cast a shadow over his later years. Paul's final years were marked by declining health, as he succumbed to complications from diabetes in 2019. He passed away in relative obscurity, a reflection of a career that never quite broke through the Hollywood noise. Julie Gregg, 1944–2016. Julie Gregg, who brought warmth and charm to her role as Sally in 3 episodes of BJ and the Bear, lived a life filled with both professional highs and personal lows. Gregg was best known for her role as Sandra Corleone in The Godfather, yet even this iconic appearance couldn't shield her from the volatility of an unstable industry. While she appeared poised and confident on screen, her personal life was marked by a string of tumultuous relationships, including a failed engagement that haunted her for years. Gregg never had children, a decision she later described as one of her greatest regrets. In her final years, she battled cancer with a quiet resilience, passing away in 2016. Though her career had moments of brilliance, Gregg's life was a testament to the fleeting nature of fame and the deep yearning for connection that often goes unfulfilled. Luke Askew, 1932–2012. Luke Askew, a rugged character actor known for playing Blackwell in 2 episodes of BJ and the Bear, lived a life as enigmatic as the roles he often inhabited. His career was punctuated by appearances in cult classics like Easy Rider, but he was never able to break free from the confines of typecasting. Askew's private life was a labyrinth of strained relationships and personal demons. Married twice, his first union ended bitterly, leaving him alienated from his son, who struggled to reconcile with his father's nomadic lifestyle and emotional distance. Askew spent his later years in relative solitude in Oregon, where he passed away from lung cancer in 2012. His death marked the end of a career that was as understated as it was impactful, his legacy carried on by the dedicated fans of his unconventional roles. Jack Ging, 1931–2022. Jack Ging, who portrayed an inspector in 2 episodes of BJ and the Bear, had a career that spanned decades, though he never quite achieved the household name status he sought. Best known for his recurring roles on shows like The A-Team, Ging was a consummate professional, but his personal life was far less steady. Married 3 times, his relationships were marked by infidelity and fiery arguments, which estranged him from his children for many years. In his later years, Ging struggled with dementia, a cruel twist of fate for a man once so sharp and dynamic. He passed away quietly in his home in California in 2022, surrounded by family who had only recently begun to mend their fractured bonds. Ging's life was a testament to the dichotomy of public acclaim and private turmoil, a reminder of the often hidden struggles behind the spotlight. Robert J. Wilke, 1914–1989. Robert J. Wilke, who played Mr. Stevens in 3 episodes of BJ and the Bear, was a quintessential character actor of the golden age of westerns, often cast as the menacing villain. Despite his tough exterior on screen, Wilke's real life was one of quiet dissatisfaction. His career peaked in the 1950s and 1960s, but as tastes shifted and westerns waned in popularity, he struggled to find meaningful roles, leading to financial instability. Wilke's marriage endured for decades but was marked by deep emotional distance, exacerbated by his devotion to work and frustration over his stalled career. He passed away from cancer in Los Angeles in 1989, a largely forgotten figure whose contributions to the genre were overshadowed by the bigger stars of his era. His death went unnoticed by many, a somber end to a life spent in the shadows of Hollywood. James Griffith, 1916–1993. James Griffith, who portrayed Uncle Moss in 2 episodes of BJ and the Bear, was a multi-talented artist who transitioned from music to acting with apparent ease. A skilled musician and actor, Griffith's career spanned several decades, though he often found himself relegated to supporting roles in B-movies and television shows. Despite his warm and avuncular demeanor on screen, his personal life was turbulent. Griffith married twice, but both unions ended in divorce, leaving him estranged from his children, who resented his focus on career over family. In his later years, Griffith's health declined, and he faced financial difficulties as work dried up. He passed away in 1993 from a heart attack, leaving behind a bittersweet legacy of a man whose talent was never fully recognized in his lifetime. Brion James, 1945–1999. Brion James, who appeared as Bomber in 2 episodes of BJ and the Bear, was a distinctive figure in Hollywood, often cast as an imposing, rugged character. With a career that spanned several decades, he made his mark in films like Blade Runner and The Fifth Element, gaining a cult following. However, behind the tough guy persona was a man deeply troubled by personal issues. His marriages were marked by infidelity and tension, leading to several separations, and he had a strained relationship with his children, who struggled to connect with their father. James' health deteriorated in the late 1990s, and he passed away in 1999 from a heart attack at the age of 54. His death, much like his life, was overshadowed by the complexity of his character both on screen and off, a man whose talents were as vast as the demons he faced in private. Henry Jones, 1912–1999. Henry Jones, who played Fred Tipton in BJ and the Bear, was an actor of remarkable versatility, known for his roles in both comedy and drama. His career included appearances in films like The Trouble with Harry and The Loved One, but he found his true home in television. Despite his professional success, Jones' personal life was fraught with heartache. Married 3 times, his relationships were often clouded by misunderstandings and emotional distance, leaving him estranged from his children. As he grew older, Jones became increasingly disillusioned, struggling to find meaningful work in an industry that was rapidly changing. In his final years, he dealt with multiple health issues, including a battle with emphysema, and died of complications from pneumonia in 1999. His passing marked the end of a long career in which his brilliance was often overlooked, and his personal pain remained a silent companion. Jack Kelly, 1927–1992. Jack Kelly, who played Captain Jim Dreyer in 2 episodes of BJ and the Bear, was a familiar face to many television viewers, particularly for his role as Bart Maverick in the classic TV series Maverick. Though he appeared in many films and shows, Kelly never quite achieved the lasting fame his talent deserved. His personal life was marked by frequent turmoil, with a marriage that ended in divorce and a strained relationship with his children, who struggled with his high expectations and emotional detachment. Kelly's career declined as he faced the harsh realities of aging in Hollywood, and he found himself unable to recapture the success of his earlier years. In the 1990s, his health deteriorated, and he was diagnosed with cancer. Jack Kelly passed away in 1992 at the age of 64, leaving behind a legacy of performances that, while respected, were overshadowed by personal regrets and an unfulfilled desire for recognition. William Bryant, 1924–2001. William Bryant, who portrayed Ben Hastings in 2 episodes of BJ and the Bear, had a career that included notable television and film roles. Despite his steady work, Bryant's career was often defined by roles as secondary characters, never fully breaking into the spotlight. Off-screen, his personal life was marred by a series of difficult relationships. His marriages were troubled, often leading to separations, and he had a complex relationship with his children, who felt neglected by his emotional distance. As his career began to slow in the 1980s, Bryant became increasingly frustrated with his lack of recognition and the changing nature of the entertainment industry. Tragically, he passed away in 2001 at the age of 61, due to heart complications, just as he seemed ready to embrace a new phase in his career. His death was a quiet one, and he is remembered for his contributions to television, but also for the sense of unfulfilled potential that marked his final years. But how do you feel about the departure of the actors in BJ and the Bear? Which one do you miss the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss any of our latest videos.